Grand Rising, good day, and good night. I hope you all are doing well. Welcome to Allah's channel. Welcome to 144 from the stars. Hurrah. I heard someone telepathically, and I'm glad you appreciate or are enjoying the different names of God. I heard what you said, and that is my response. I'm glad you're enjoying it. All right, let's go ahead and give Odin the dog, a treat. The totem for this message is going to be a maned wolf. There you are. Thank you so much. And Allah, the name of God we chose, I have it translated as Awesome One. You can find that in the book of Daniel, chapter 2, verse 18. All right. We are going to be reading from the book of Iyov or Job. We're going to be reading from chapter 2. We're going to start at verse 6 and we're going to stop at verse 10. And Yahuwah said to Satan, "Behold, he is in your hand, but save his life." So went Satan forth from the presence of Yahuwah, and smote Iyov with sore boils, from the sole of his foot to his crown. And he took him a potsherd to scrape himself withal. And he sat down among the ashes. Then said his woman to him, "Do you still retain your integrity? Bless Elohim and die." But he said to her, "You speak as one of the foolish women speaks. What? Shall we receive good at the hand of Elohim, and shall we not receive evil?" In all this did not Iyov sin with his lips. It is wise to read all of the word, not just some of it. All right. Let's get started with your message. Thank you all for being here. Ace of Cups and Three of Cups. Celebration, but we've got this Five of Cups. Or Five of Pentacles, excuse me. But there may have been some Five of Cups. So, there is victory, success, something new coming in. You're going to love this. This is wonderful. You're going to celebrate this. But you did have to overcome some trials and tribulations. You did have to overcome some pains and initiations. And I do feel that 100%. So, yeah, we've got this Judgment card. And this King of Swords and the Ace of Cups. You're being blessed. The judgment of God is for you to be blessed. There is an outpour of the Holy Spirit. There is comfort. There is blessings. There is fruits of the Holy Spirit being spoken and blessed over you. I feel like you have had to heal some kind of wounds of scarcity or lack. Okay? You've had to face some kind of fears. And you had to cut and release something that was obscuring your obscuring your judgment. It was causing you to not truly listen to your intuition, and it was causing you to not fully receive. Is that the King of Swords again? Wow, okay, King of Swords. So, air sign, masculine energy, perhaps mental energy, air of the mind, So this really may have been a mental battle that you went through, a battle of the mind. Are you willing to face and overcome? Are you willing to surrender? Are you willing to do the will that needs to be done? Are you willing? Well, okay, you listen to your intuition. You had to get out of your head. As an air sign with a lot of air in my chart, it is very easy to get caught in overthinking. It's very easy to get stuck in your head. And when we get in this, whether you're an air sign or not, when we get in this overthinking mode, we can get stuck. And I see that someone had to clear their mind in a way and just be, just exist, just listen, just accept, just receive. You may have had to use that intelligence of mind of yours to actually look at what was causing this overthinking or this stress or this worries or this doubts. We've got this Lovers, we've got this Chariot card. There could be Gemini energy, there could be air sign energy, right? We've got this Six of Wands, there could be Sagittarius energy, we could be Capricorn energy, but either way, we had to face, this devil within us. I do feel like that this devil energy is actually an internal struggle. I feel like all of this is really an internal struggle. And, we've got this this big moon, I think it's in Taurus, and think of like the two horns, the 2 points. And Gemini is also the third on the wheel, so Taurus is right before. So anyways, we had this like the Aries energy, this identity, this self. Now we've got this Taurus, these 2 points of our mind, duality. Are you in alignment with yourself? Are you in alignment with this blessing that God wants to give you? Are you able to listen to your intuition and have the discernment of what is fears, what is doubts, what is wounds, what is unintegrated shadow, and what is the call of the Most High God? What if everything came at you all at once? Would you give in to the temptations? Would you give in to the fear? Would you hold your integrity? Would you? 10 of Pentacles. I feel like you have gone through some kind of test or trial. And this may have been a trial by air and a little bit of water from what I can feel from this. I think it was a trial of all the elements. Like you had to use all of it. There's some like alchemy in here, but we've definitely got air sign energy in here. And you were successful. You're about to receive a blessing, and that is part of this judgment. A lot happened to Job. A lot happened to Job. There's that fire and that water energy I was feeling. But anyways, a lot happened to Job. And he lost a lot of suffering, a lot of grief, a lot of pain. And throughout it all, he kept his integrity. He showed his worth, proved it time and time again. How worthy. All right. Someone might be triggered by those words. That's okay. This is my platform. I don't have to defend myself. You can leave or stay. Free will. It's a wonderful thing we have. Those of you that choose to be here, I'm grateful you're here, and I hope that you receive something that's of benefit to you. God bless you. We've got this Magician, we've got this 10 of Pentacles, and we've got this Empress and King of Pentacles. And then what is that? Tower, the Hanged One, the Devil. And like that could really be like getting stuck in your head and not making the change and listening to this devil energy. But you had to overcome that. Look at all these elements coming out. Okay. All right. Earth sign energy, fire sign energy, air sign energy, and some water. It's all here. It's all here. We're all of them. We're all of creation within us. Okay. So what I am getting at this is that you had to you went through something and you endured it and you overcame it. And while things may have tried you, may have tempted you, may have tried to create obstacles in your mind, the mind is kind of this place where the devil likes to try different things to us. See if it can get us caught up. See if it can get us stuck. And see if it can get us out of alignment for what God wishes for us and what we are about to step into. And sometimes, we have to face these hardest things. Like it's kind of like the darkest before it's dawn kind of deal. It's kind of like, I don't know. It's like we get so close to crossing the finish line, and then all of a sudden towers, and all of a sudden this, and all of a sudden that, and it's like all this stress and all this burden and all of this like agony and pain. It's like, what the fuck? Like, why? And it's just like, we make it through. The Fool, the Wheel of Fortune. I feel like you have passed through something. You have overcame something. You may have had to release and free yourself of yourself. Okay. The devil tried to hold you back. That's for sure. It definitely tried to hold you back. But you prove that you have learned some lessons. You prove that you have came very far. You have left your past behind you. I couldn't even see it. I saw it just for a second, just long enough to understand that we were talking about leaving your past behind you, and now I can't even find that card. But whatever, we got the Six of Swords, you're moving forward, blockages are removed, we got this Ten of Pentacles. There's something about the change in your waking and material life. I feel like God's about to bless you with a lot of finances, with a lot of provision, with a lot of joy, with a lot of happiness. Like, you're going to be able to take action on things. You're going to be able to receive more. Like, whatever this is, we had to get through those wounds first. I have noticed that right before I activate more gifts and abilities, a lot of traumas or wounds come to the surface. I have noticed that we tend to be in tune with the moon cycles as well. So when moons get real full or real big and we have super moons, it tends to bring a lot of things to the surface. Yeah, I see this Hermit card and this High Priestess and this juggling kind of energy, but then this forward movement, these blockages removed. And I think you really had to face yourself on some things. There's that water energy and judgment to get in alignment with it. Now we've got the Seven of Wands. Yeah, all right. So there was definitely like, you had to overcome the adversity within yourself. I know a lot of times these readings and these messages are talking about external things that are going on, and so-and-so's doing this, and this is happening, and oftentimes those are relevant, and those messages need to come through. But I have noticed that most of the messages that have been coming through today have been very internal. We've got this Magician card, and the energy of the Magician is you have everything you need within you. If only you just knew that. If only you could just see that. If only you truly embodied that wisdom. And you have to be whole. You have to be healed. And, you know, in order to get to new levels, we have to heal. We have to ascend. We have to go through these things. And I see that you did. I see that you did. This was a very successful, I see that devil, and it's like in between all this pentacle, this Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Swords, Ten of Pentacles with the Judgment, but there's this devil. You had to overcome it. So for some of you, some of these trials may have been temptations. I've seen that too. I've seen those happen. You know, God doesn't, and I want you to understand that this is of love. Like, God doesn't want you to fail. God doesn't want any of us to fail. God doesn't want to bless you with $1 million and then you're not ready for it. And then I know some people are getting like offended. I'm not some child. I can handle $1 million. I'm out here, blah, blah. All right, shut up. You got a bad attitude. Okay? But be honest with yourselves. What if you did have this excessive amount of finance? Would you go out drinking and partying all night? Would you splurge in excess of something you don't need to? Would you go out to eat every night? Would you do what God is giving you that money for, or would you do what you want to do with that money? It's just an example, y'all. It's just food for thought. It's just a moment to reflect on ourselves to see how honest are you willing to be with yourself. Well, these temptations and these tests and these trials, they come right before our biggest blessings. And, you know, if we slip up or, you know, we don't pass through this trial and initiation, it doesn't mean that you don't deserve it or you're not worthy or none of that. It just means you're simply not ready for it. That's it. All right. It's okay. It's not that big of a deal. We'll try again next cycle. We'll try again the next season. Let's go through this cycle again. Let's go through a little bit of tutoring of this soul's lesson. But if you have learned the lesson, you have integrated the lesson, that when these trials come up, they're not as awful. They're a little easier to get through. They're manageable, and you pass through. You maintain your integrity. You don't, for example, if this is talking about addiction, you don't relapse. If this is talking about this, you don't do that. If this is talking about a trial by water, you listen to your intuition instead of your ego or your analytical brain. If this is a trial by fire, you take action regardless of your fears. If this is a trial by earth, you stay consistent. Yeah, consistency is key. I had a point in time in my life where my finances were better than they had ever been in my entire life. Legally, like 100% legally. I wasn't doing dirt or something I wasn't supposed to and getting fast money. I was doing what I was supposed to do, and I was making decent money, and I had a financial abundance that I'd never had before. And then it got halved, like dropped down to the bare minimum, and I barely had enough. And it was very frustrating. I was like, why? Why is this? I had to go back a lesson because I stopped being consistent. And when I stopped being so stubborn and I actually asked my angels, what's going on here? Why is this happening? Why is my income like decreased? Is someone attacking me? Is this a spiritual attack? Is someone taking my abundance? Is this an external thing? And they said, no, we just need you to learn to be more consistent. And when you have learned that lesson, things will improve. I'm just sharing some testimony with y'all. I've experienced that. Sometimes we think that it's something outside of ourselves that's doing it to us, but really it's us failing to learn and integrate the lessons, and then we get held back. And then we feel like someone did it to us, but no one did it to us. We did it to ourselves. Sometimes we get rewarded and then we fuck up. I used to have a really bad thing with self-sabotage. Every time I finally started to do well or do good, I'd go fuck it up. And I had to face a lot of wounds that were causing that. Self-worth wounds, fear of being happy, fear of failure, fear of not being good enough, fear of success even. I had to face all these fears that would cause me to sabotage myself. These things are done out of love because God doesn't want us to fail. God doesn't want to answer all your prayers and give you all these blessings when you're not ready for it, and then you fuck your life up. Or you go back into some old ways and you really make some decisions you can't undo. So, accountability. It's good to be wise enough to accept when spirit is holding us accountable to ourselves. Sometimes it's easier to just play the blame game, like, oh, a demon did this, oh, a witch did this, oh, this is some secret society or a cult or a covenant. I mean, there's times where that's relevant, and there's many times where it's our own damn selves, and we're failing to learn the lesson. And instead of admitting where we are wrong and reflecting on it and facing our fears or our wounds or our shadows or our pain, it's easier to just project it outwards. How willing are you to be honest with yourself? This isn't me sitting here attacking or accusing anyone. That's why I use some personal examples where I myself am guilty of it. I have been rewarded for passing lessons and trials, but then had the rewards taken away because I showed that I failed to know or have learned or integrated another lesson. And sometimes different things will bring different things to the surface, whether we're aware of it or not. and God loves us. And the whole reason why we're here is to learn and to grow and to heal and to transform. Like, it's a journey. This is a journey. This is a school. Earth realm is a school. It's a school about energy as well. Can we master energy? Can we master ourselves? Coming into density tends to bring out the worst parts of ourselves. Parts of ourselves that are pretty easy to manage and overcome and not even really notice when you're existing in the higher realms. But when you forgot who you are and you're in this dense energy, oh, it's real easy for these parts of ourselves to come up to the surface. And that's why we descend to ascend. I'll use an example. I have noticed that descendants of the first ray of archangels, or even the masculine side of the first ray, Archangel Michael, in density, in unintegrated shadow, have anger issues, have an issue with aggression. I have noticed descendants of Archangel Gabriel and Archangel Hope in the fifth ray, I believe. I believe that's the fifth ray. Fourth ray. I do that every time. Fourth ray. Sometimes struggle with, after betrayals, losing hope in people, losing hope in God, losing hope in themselves, or sometimes giving in to taking judgment into their own hands. And since I mentioned fifth ray, let's go ahead and go there too. Self-worth is a huge one with the fifth ray. Descendants of Raphael and, What's interesting for those of you that want to learn a little bit of angelology, if you were to look into the fifth ray of archangels, you would find Raphael. And if you would look into it and be like, well, Raphael doesn't really have a counterpart, but this is about twin flame rays of the archangels. And what I have found is that Mother Mary, yes, Mother Mary, the higher oversoul, the highest self of Mother Mary, has a part of her soul, of herself, that is actually an archangel. So descendants of the fifth ray, your parents are Archangel Raphael, and if you wanted to word it that way, Archangel Mother Mary. And I have noticed that descendants of that ray have a hard time with people pleasing and self-worth. Straight up. Descendants of the first ray have a hard time with losing faith in people, losing faith in the goodness of others, and sometimes take things into their own hands, losing faith in God even. Yeah, just some education for you all. Just some education for you all. So it does happen. I just want you to know that you are loved. And that these trials, these lessons, these cycles are for what's best for us, whether we choose to see it or not. Sometimes we're put in situations where we lose a blessing, or we lose something, or we don't have as much provision, or we're put in situations that are very triggering or upsetting. And it's to help us learn. It's to help us grow. Can you learn this lesson and can you integrate it? Can you grow as a soul? Can you embrace who you truly are In the higher, even in the lower, when we fester and put this pressure cooker on the deepest, darkest, worst parts of yourself. And don't think that the archangels don't have their own struggles when they come here too. I have mentioned that certain archangels were incarnating. Let me just use an example. I've already mentioned that descendants of the first ray, which if you don't know is Archangel Michael and Archangel Faith. Do you think Archangel Michael, when he incarnates into physicality and the density of Earth realm, do you think it's just all perfect and easy for him? Do you think he doesn't have his struggles too? It's not God. None of us are. None of the angels are God themselves. I mean, we are these different aspects. We are created. But we're not the whole. We're not all of it. We haven't learned everything. We don't know everything. We still have a lot of learning to do. A lot of growing. Do you really think Archangel Michael wouldn't have a little bit, just a teensy weensy bit of a struggle with maybe like anger? I mean, look what he's like. He's literally a warrior of God. He's a fierce fighter and protector that delivers the judgment of God. So I'd imagine in density, where everything is triggering as fucking hard, he might have a hard time with anger. He literally delivers the wrath of God, if that is the judgment. So imagine he didn't know who he was. He didn't know what he was. Imagine he was in density and all these worst parts of the wounds and all his past lives incarnations. They can't be suppressed no more. They can't be ignored anymore. They have to be faced head on. A lot of people come to Earth Realm and they descend. They descend to ascend, and what really happens is they descend and descend. And it sucks. I've lost family in Earth Realm, like heavenly family. They have fallen. I have seen angelic family fuck up so much, so bad that they're casted out. Won't say names, but we had someone that was a member of this channel, and we literally had a live Q&A done, and they were like publicly kind of put on spot. They were asking for protection. They were like, how can I protect myself from all the stuff that was going on? When I tapped in to ask, I was told quite sternly and clearly by the angels and God in the heavens that they weren't being attacked by the devil. They were being attacked by the angels. They were being attacked by the heavens. They were being attacked by God's creation. And they were a descendant of Gabriel and Hope. And they were giving into taking judgment into their own hands. And they were abusing their gifts and abilities. If you think when angels or descendants of these angels come into earth that they don't have unique qualities, traits, and abilities, you are fooled. We do. We do. We do have unique traits, gifts, qualities, and abilities. But we're also in density. We have free will. Life is hard. Things suck. Things hurt. Things can be really triggering. And sometimes we forgot who we are. And I have seen angels in earth realm incarnate and step way too far outside the will of God and fail their contracts, do things they're not supposed to, and abuse their gifts and abilities. And I've seen people descend. I've seen people lose rank. I've seen people lose contracts. I've seen people lose counterparts in twin flames. This is not an easy school. Even the best of the best come here and sometimes fail. But those that come here and you learn, you heal, you grow, you ascend, you expand, you grow on a soul level, that reward is everlasting. I have also met siblings and family and brothers and sisters and cousins on earth realm that are my family in heaven. I'm not talking about my blood family. I'm talking about my heavenly soul family. I have witnessed them ascend. I've witnessed dominion angels ascend into seraphim. I've witnessed just angels ascend into powers. I've witnessed real bloodline families, like people in my bloodline, that I later on, after awakening, realized who they were in heaven. And I've seen some of them ascend, and I've seen some of them fail severely. I've seen people lose their gifts, and I've seen people gain more and get even more gifts and abilities. So these trials, these lessons, when we incarnate in this little game of the wheel, it's no joke. We do have free will, and there are consequences for our actions. But consequences aren't necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes the consequence is a good thing. There's no such thing as a good consequence. It's just the result of your actions. So, for this message, the result of your actions is very positive. You feel this serious tone in the reading, even though it's meant to be very happy and abundant and positive? Yeah, that's God's judgment you're feeling. It's real. And whoever this message is for, you have passed. You have passed. And for some of you, this message might be to let you know what's ahead of you, to prepare you, to help you understand what's going on here. There's like a trial going on. Like a free will Hunger Games of God's children. Except for it's not us competing with each other, it's us competing with ourselves. Will you be triumphant? Will you be victorious? Will you prove that you have learned the lessons on a soul level and integrated them? Will you prove that you can come here and heal and ascend? Angel? Ascended Master? Will you? Good job, collective. I know this ain't easy. I know there's been losses. I know there's been grief, struggles, and pains. But the reward is everlasting. It's everlasting. I have seen it. Transformation. We got this death card coming out. And this is part of what I was talking about in that special reading that later on got uploaded into 4 parts, where it was talking about death will set you free. Emperor energy. You're leveling up. Empress and Emperor, and they are standing side by side but back to back because they're looking in opposite directions. And they're both protecting something they love. You are heading towards Ascension. If you have had very difficult trials recently, Ascension symptoms have been very heavy, if things have been brought to the surface, I want you to know that God loves you and wants what's best for you. And when we show God that we are ready, we're pleasantly surprised when God shows us just what exactly we're ready for. But it's up to you. Not anyone else, you. So there seems to be like a trial going on earth. And this is a big opportunity for a lot of people, for everyone. Do you want to ascend into a higher version of yourself and achieve an even greater timeline? Or do you need to repeat a lesson again? Which cycle are you about to step into? I do feel that whoever this message is for, you have achieved a very high timeline and you are stepping into a great cycle for yourself. Congratulations. This is no joke and it ain't easy. I have seen angels fall and I have seen angels rise right in front of my eyes. I'm not kidding. This past year alone has been extremely eventful. For me personally, extremely eventful. I've seen a lot of things happen this past year. Queen of Pentacles, Nine of Cups. You're about to receive some big wish fulfillment because you're ready for it. You're ready for it. Good job. I'm just like, seriously, good job. After the initiation, you are ready for this. Remember, you were made for this. This is why you came here. The game of the wheel. Game of the wheel. Because, like, there's a risk coming here, but there's great reward. High risk, high rewards. That's the game of the wheel. What is the game of the wheel? It's incarnating on Earth. The game of the wheel is this wheel of karma. You might have to come back again and repeat some lessons when you incarnate on Earth, because you might get karma. You might not learn a lesson. You might go down a few steps. But at the end of it, we come out stronger and we come out better. Those that make it. You've made it, collective. What happens after you escape this wheel? Well, if you have looked into Eastern thought, they talk about Dharma. You get to receive Dharma. That's what you're stepping into. Dharma. All right, y'all. You have put a major cycle to rest and you have ascended. You have done your best. You may have came here before. I feel like this is probably your best performance yet in this game of the wheel. The heavens, the immortals, the gods, the goddesses, God itself has enjoyed watching you. You're this hero. A hero's journey. Trials and tribulations. Lions' dens and snakes and fears and obstacles, opposition, persecutions, limitations. And here you are. Alive and well. And you've kept your integrity. This is a big congratulations, y'all. I love you. I'm going to go ahead and leave this reading here. If you like the way that I read, please be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe. I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you, and I will see you on the next collective message.